nothing has changed. Still got my number, still got my name. Tell everybody I'm back in the game. This is my time, faster than ever, hungry and I'm going to come back and take what is mine, bigger and better. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. Some things are different, but nothing has changed. Still got my number, still got my name. Tell everybody I'm back in the game. Saddle, cut to the chase. I ain't somebody who stays in one place. Ready to go, I'm coming to play. You better know I still got something to say. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. Some things are different, but nothing has changed. Still got my number, still got my name. Tell everybody I'm back in the game. match I couldn't handle. No one else could ever hold a candle. Get ready for a battle, cause you know that I was born for this. I was born for this. Never met a match I couldn't handle. No one else could ever hold a candle. Get ready for a battle, cause you know I was born. I tell you I was born for this. Ain't nothing gonna stop me now. I was born for this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Under the lights now at the Nashville Super Speedway, we welcome you to coverage of iRacing on LSRTV and the Community Radio Network, round number 13 for the drivers of the Pacific Northwest. It's the Northwest Racing Series, and the trucks are ready to go this evening here for round 13. We're going to go 150 laps. Oh, and by the way, daytime race for the Cup cars on Monday. We are under the lights. We're under the lights here tonight at Nashville Super Speedway. Good evening to you. I am Wesley Outland. Samuel Dyer is my color analyst, as always, for the Northwest Trucks. He'll be here momentarily. He has some other iRacing obligation commitments at the moment. He'll be with us here as soon as possible when that is completed. And, of course, running the buttons for Rocket Media and Live Sim Racing is Charles Wooten in a hot, steamy, can I use the word steamy? Texas, because it's hot. It's hot all over. Summertime is here. Nashville is here tonight, and we're going to have a fun time. Drivers meeting is ongoing right now. And, man, I'm telling you, we've got a great race for you. These drivers are going to go 150 laps. This should be an exciting event here tonight around the Nashville Super Speedway. Matter of fact, let's give you the race information right now. And it is 150 laps, one fast repair in the series race tonight, 2 green-white checkers, overtime attempts if need be. Sim time, obviously, as I mentioned, 8 p.m. Central, okay? So remember that. It's 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central, because they're in the Central time zone in Lebanon, Tennessee, just outside of Nashville, where the virtual Nashville Super Speedway is. 100% fuel load, 4 sets of tires. That includes the set on the truck, plus 3 more sets on the pit lane. And, of course, that all presented by LiveSimRacing.com, your race information calendar. So all of that going on. Weather conditions as well. And you see the weather is overcast. It is nighttime. It is comfortable. It is perfect. A little wind, 10 miles an hour. Not much for that matter. 84 degrees, the virtual ambient temperature. Track temp is at 85. And, yeah, we're going to have a fun race here tonight. Do we have keys to victory? Keys to victory for tonight's event. I've got some keys to victory. I'll put it to you like this. Obviously, you can't drive in the daytime like you can at night. Nighttime is cooler conditions. Nighttime is better on your track, your race car, your truck wear. Saving your tires is obviously something that will happen in racing at night than in the daytime. So I really think that the gambles could be through tonight to see 2 pit stops, maybe rolling the dice to see if that can be a possibility. So obviously patience. This is a track that has precision banking. You look here on the concrete here at Nashville and you see 4 or 5 lanes. And that will also be used at different times throughout the night. You got to pick your lane. You got to know what time, what opportunity to go from the top to the bottom. I think that's a premium must in this race tonight as well. And finally, patience. You got to be patient. That's the name of the game. We always use the cliche, to first win the race, you must first finish. And the bottom line is that if you want to be there at the end, you got to get through the first 100 laps. And if you look at what they did with the Northwest Cup cars, of course, where Caden Anderson picked up the win on Monday night, you look at where the strategy was. The first 100 laps, they kind of laid in the weeds. They were patient. We didn't have many problems. Then we had those string of caution flags, the 3 there before the last 50 laps to decide the winner. So, yeah. I'm all for that. Obviously, night racing is fun. It's exciting, and we're looking forward to bringing it to you. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the point standings as we prepare for a battle that right now is between Dennis Moore and Cole Raz, only separated by 4 points. And understanding cars are on the racetrack. There's the Catman, Toyota James Vining. He'll be the first man to set the bar. And we'll see now as qualifying is ongoing here at the time. All right. So the James Vining entry, 333, making his way now. The Toyota 333 start finish on the clock. Best of 2 laps to determine it. Driver's meeting has concluded, and here we go. Vining coming off the corner. Boy, is that a bright pink and green truck, if you will. The 333 crossing the line, 37-32. First, hey, James Vining, at least you are at the pole. Well, not for long. Ron Hunter has now gone to the top spot, 30-28. Obviously, we're going to see more and more contenders coming out here to take time as this race rolls on. 2-time defending series champion and the LSRTV CRN 4K West Racing Chevrolet. That is, of course, Dan West Jr., 2020 and 2021 series champion for the Northwest Trucks. Here he comes to the line. DWJ crosses the stripe. He's on it. Where's he going to be? He's on the clock now. Here you go. Already 6 seconds in it, and he's already working his way to the Rackley Roofing back straightaway here at the Nashville Super Speedway, which, by the way, next year, that will transition over to Nashville Motor Speedway. As if you did not know, it is one of 11 tracks that are owned by Speedway Motorsports Incorporated, LLC. That's the series and the sanctioning group that I'm proud to be a part of to do races at Charlotte and Atlanta and Bristol. Here comes Dan West Jr. Will he improve in the 55? DWJ 30.72, 30.72 in the 55 to the back straightaway. Turn number 3. Dan West Jr. working off the bottom. Here he comes. And obviously a different racetrack in the daytime than what you'll see at night. We'll be joined by Samuel Dyer momentarily. 30.025. 30.025 seconds current for the driver. And that is, of course, Dan West Jr. Making his series debut tonight, Jayden Ledbetter, the 711. His Chevrolet, Budweiser Chevrolet, working those around the racetrack. Debut for the Northwest Racing Series and the trucks tonight, Jayden Ledbetter. Jeff Stabnow, one of the officials of Northwest Racing Series, were kind of telling us about him during our program coming on the air. And we'll see what Jayden Ledbetter can do as he crosses the line. 30.709. 30.709. Under 10 minutes remaining in qualifying here at Nashville. Dan West Jr., 30.002. And Cole Raz now going to the top of the board. Tied on a 30.002. Cole Raz now P1 thousandths quicker. And I'm joined now by California Samuel Dyer, my colleague for the Northwest Racing Series trucks events on iRacing on LSRTV and the Community Radio Network. Samuel, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing pretty good. Ready for some that of Nashville Super Speedway concrete action. I honestly am surprised on some of the speed that I'm starting to see here, Wesley, especially on Dan West Jr. Good run for himself so far.
Yes, it is. Dan West Jr. did a really good job. Cole Raz right there with him, 30-02, 30-02, 30-13. Now with Brian Reynolds, 30-20 for Aaron Cooper, 30-21 for Toby Ritters. How about it for Clifford in the top 5?
That'll be 5th currently on the board for qualifying, as they'll be trying to come around and finish out his qualifying, as he had a little bit of a blinking issue for himself. But a driver that needs a good qualifying run, who's been struggling, and if he doesn't qualify well, he usually doesn't finish as well. Sean Breisman here, Wesley.
2020 Northwest Racing Series Cup champion. Pretty decent run here for the number 46, Sean Breisman, on the racetrack. Of course, 8th in the points out of 10 races he's ran. 2 top 5s, 6 top 10s. Suffice to say, as he sends it off in turn number 2 on the warm-up lap, or on the opening green to take time, Samuel, it's been a dismal year for Sean Breisman. I don't want to say it's been a bad year, but it's not been a stellar year like we've seen him pass for him.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the dominating form that we've seen in seasons past. I think that really can be carried over most of the LSRTV team. I mean, Dan West Jr., that as well as Jeff Stabnow. John Ombacher's been kind of the shining moment for most of the season with his win that he got at Daytona. The rest of the team, they've really been trying to find their own groove and consistency. And right now, Jeff Stabnow, one of those drivers that's hoping to find a little bit of that magic here this evening.
Jeff Stabnow, number 24, Billings, Montana, LSRTV 4K CRN Ford. Let me correct that. It's the LSRTV CRN 4K Ford. The nice, appropriate term. 24 on the speedway. And Jeff Stabnow, definitely one of those guys that it's been a more bad than good this year. In 12 starts, 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s. But if there's a place where I think he could really shine, Samuel, it could be right here at Nashville, up to 5th on lap number 1. Qualified. I think he's happy with his truck. No need for a second lap. 30-002, 30-02. And now Chris Camari's up. But what I was saying, though, Samuel, Nashville's a track where you can turn it all around. And he had a pretty decent finish in the Cup cars on a showing on Monday night as well.
Yeah, Monday night, I mean, he was battling a lap down with Blake Peterson there late and with a lot of other drivers. And gotta say, for Jeff Stabnow, certainly with the trucks, with it, with the Cup drivers on Monday, they're running what we call a fixed setup, meaning the only things that you can change is your turning ratio, meaning how much you turn the wheel can change how much you're dealing with, as well as your brake bias of how much you press on your brake pedal, how much pressure is being given to the front or rear brakes. But those are the only things you can change. While on the truck side of things, these drivers spend all week long trying to tune in their trucks to make sure they've got the best setup possible here tonight. And so a lot of these drivers recognizing tonight could be a change of guard just because we're on the concrete. It's going to be at night. Drivers going to be having to figure out how to deal with this surface. It's going to be pretty rough on the tires.
Troy Daggett, Steel, entry Chevrolet down the back straightaway. We'll see what he can do. Currently 20th now. He's got one more lap to try to improve. 150 laps here tonight at the Nashville Super Speedway. Works off of turn number 4 sideways. Oh boy, I know that wasn't looking like a lot though, Samuel, but that might have hurt him on his time. 35.82, now 21st. You see just that little wiggle off that 4th turn hurt him, and he falls back. His still first lap will be best at 20th.
Yeah, and first lap, that's what he's going to have to just stick with, as he has already finished up with qualifying, and majority of the field has finished up with qualifying, as getting prepared to get ready for rolling in action here tonight. And Wesley, I mean, tonight certainly could be a game changer for some drivers. Consistency, though, has really been there for Cole Raz, Caden Anderson, and for that of Cole Raz, no Caden Anderson. This is going to be all him on his own tonight.
So I gave the Samuel Dyer lightning strike keys to victory, obviously. Do you have any other things that we can add into that? We will in just a moment. After first, we give you the starting lineup as they're not racing no time. Qualifying is officially completed. The field is gridded, and it's time for the LSR TV starting lineup here tonight for round number 13 at the Music City, Nashville Superspeedway. And here's the lineup. On the pole, Dennis Moore, the points leader by 4 points on Cole Raz. He's on the pole to the outside. Dan Lowther improved in the last 3 weeks. He's on the outside in 63. Could the night be the night for a win? Chris White, he's ready to go. And of course, the number 6 machine. And to his outside, Cole Raz. Jeff Stabnow in the number 24. Jeff Stabnow, Dan West Jr. Got the LSRTV CRN team right alongside each other. Row 5, Devin West and Brian Reynolds. Row 4, my apologies. And then we go to Casey Garber and Aaron Cooper. 94-71. There's your top 10 there, Samuel, at Nashville.
Then going to be in 11th, 12th for row number 6. Going to be Toby Ritters in that 23 machine and Paul Newton in the 27. Great qualifying runs for both themselves. And speaking of great qualifying runs, Ron Hunter going to be here for the start of row number 7 in the 22 with that of Casey Duncan in the 17 to his outside. Row number 8, Kevin Smith, not a good qualifying run, nor can you say that really for Sean Breitzman. Back here for row number 8 for both drivers that are going to be hunting for a good championship run later on the season, with Tyler King as well going to be back here in the row number row 9, with that of the Catman James Vining in the 333 to his outside. Finishing out row number 10, going to be that of Ledbetter as well as that of Troy Daggett in the 51.
And remember, Jayden Ledbetter making his debut here tonight for the trucks in Nashville. Chris Camary in the 15. Bryce Clark in the 93. Row 11. Row number 12 is going to find the drivers of B.J. Tendrick. Biggest thing in the Northwest for him was a win in 2020 at Darlington. To his outside, the legend Carl Burke, row 12. Row 13, Frank Harris in 11. Tyler Kim, he's improved in the last month. The 30 truck alongside. Row number 14 tonight. No, row 14, 26 trucks. All right, Samuel, real quickly, keys to victory besides what I mentioned. And I kind of talked about nighttime's different than day. You're saving your tires. Oh, and most importantly, to first win the race, you must first finish.
Yeah, that's always going to be a good thing. You got to make sure you finish at the end. I think the big thing, patience. Saving the tires and being patient is going to be the biggest thing. Here in the early goings, you're going to see some drivers really want to be aggressive. They've got fresh tires. But watch out for Dan Lowther. It's going to be a driver that we've seen fall back, even though he's got great qualifying pace.
150 laps, round number 13. Oh, and by the way, we're off next week for a firecracker celebration of our nation's birthday. And we're ready for the start. Here they come out of turn number 4. Moore, Lowther at a snail's pace to the Geico restart zone. The field takes the official green. And ladies and gentlemen, you have a virtual race. They'll send it off into turn number 1 and 2. 2 by 2 by 2, the first 3 rows. No one giving an inch. Dennis Moore, the points leader, breaks out in the early going.
Yeah, Dennis Moore looking good, but Chris White's probably going to be my dark horse to watch out for. That's 6. Usually if he qualifies well, he's always a factor to watch out for. But out of turn number 4, Dennis Moore. This is good to see from Beaver State Racing. They've got a good, strong qualifying pace.
Opening lap, no harm, no foul. And it's Dennis Moore. Looking now, Cole Raz, Lowther. Stabnow, West. This going on, this 5-truck tandem, along with Garber. This heats West. This going on, this 5-truck tandem, along with Garber. This heats up out of turn number 2.
And right now, for that of Jeff Stabnow, he wants to get in line, but Dan Lowther, he might have qualified in second, but trapped on the outer lane where you really don't want to be. And as well, coming out of turn number 4, Chris White. He is on the back bumper of our leader, of Dennis Moore.
Dennis Moore, the leader, out in front of 44. Chris White now on the outside. That Toyota truck, the Willie's Addicted Barbecue entry. Up on the outside, sizing up the more speed entry. Beaver State Racing entry. Chevrolet. Couple of Chevrolet and a Toyota battle for the lead in turn 3, Sammy.
They've got to be deciding how aggressive do we truly want to be. They've already, this front 2 have gapped themselves over a second over 3rd place of Cole Raz. And Raz really was the driver that was defending a lot on Monday night. Wonder how much information these drivers have taken in, or do they feel like this early aggression is what they need to do? Keep that fresh air. Got fresh air, you really could keep care of your tires.
Yeah, definitely, with this fresh air. And one of the things we mentioned is the wind speed, Samuel, is only blowing around 8 to 10 miles an hour. I mean, yeah, that's a little, but it's not that serious, like 20 plus or more. So definitely keep an eye on that. Chris White down below the bottom of the apron of the racetrack. He battles. Dennis Moore up on the outside. That goes on for the lead in turn one.
And here we go. Chris White finally getting himself in position. He's got to be clear and moves up in front of the 44. But will that of Dennis Moore fight back? Or does he just let the 6 go? He's going to fight back. Here we go. Down into turn number 3.
Back straight away into that third turn. Moore inside. White up on the outside. This is for the lead in the early going of this 150 lap contest. A century and a half drive around the Nashville Super Speedway. White, Moore, Raz now closing in. Stab now right there behind him. The top 4 off 2.
Yeah, and really for these drivers back from third on back. Cole Raz, just stabbed now. Dan West Jr. and Devin West going to be in our top 6. Dan West Jr. and Devin West, though, they've gotten their, any issues from Monday cleaned up. These two were so fast on Monday. Curious as what we're seeing right now. I mean, the concrete certainly starting to show a little bit of different speed than the 55 and the 24, and it's good to see the 5 back on track.
Yeah, it certainly is. We're watching Chris White work his way around the racetrack. Moore along in the 44. Raz is there. There's your top 3. There you see Stab now. There you see father and son of Dan West Jr., Devin West. Good to see the Shelton, Washington connection there on the racetrack, of course, together. Along with Garber, Cooper, Reynolds, Lowther, top 10. They're all steaming the conga line at speed, and the thundering herd virtually roars to 1 with the corner with now Stab now sizing up Raz for third as they go back to the turn 2.
And usually we get to see this in the first 5 laps. It's all about who's willing to be aggressive. And right now it's all Chris White taking the lead position. Third on back, Cole Raz kind of being the pace of this group on how slow do we really want to run. They're not running at the pace of our leaders. I've seen Dan West Jr. and Devin West these last couple of laps actually running a faster pace than Chris White, but feeling stalled out as Devin West, tired of running behind his dad. He wants to get moving, which in my eyes, I feel like this was just a little bit too soon to try to get this aggressive, but watch out, Casey Garber now going to get in the mix for the 94.
Yeah, Devin West not making many starts so far this year for the series. A matter of fact, not been able to run many races because of his work schedule. So it's good to see Devin West back out here on the racetrack. He's doing really well, and right now he is having a nice battle getting around his father, Jeff Stab now, his teammate Garber now, 4-truck tandem off 2.
Yeah, the last lap, it actually was going to be Casey Garber. That was the second fastest truck on track. Only driver beating him out was our leader of Devin West, but still side by side. This is not helping out LSRTV racing teammates. You don't want to be staying this close side by side for too long. You're going to be burning off your tires for both drivers. But Devin West taking the pass, now on the charge, and here comes Casey Garber getting by the 55 if possible here.
Got to remember, Devin West only Samuel in his 3rd start this year with the Northwest Racing Series truck program. In 2 starts, his 3rd tonight at Nashville. 1 win. Remember, that was on the other side of virtual Tennessee at the Bristol Dirt Race back earlier in the year, back in March. And with that, 1 top 5 and 1 top 10 to boot with that victory. So pretty good to see him. Right now, sitting in the number 4 spot. There is his father, defending series champion, trying to go after now what Samuel said, the quickest truck on the track of Garber. And now we see also a battle between Paul Newton going after Sean Brinksman. Paul Newton, Sonoma winner down the back straightaway.
Yeah, Paul Newton, I would say probably in my eyes, one of the best runs this season. He has really been getting faster and faster. Probably one of the drivers that's found a lot more consistency over the rest of the field. He's top 10 in points currently. Now, when we say points, you've got to remember there are some drop weeks that will be added on at the end of the regular season. But currently at this moment, with 27, he's showing up to almost every single race. He has had a great run, but now swarmed by that of seeing some of the drivers that we know are going to be quick. Of that of Bridesman, King, Smith. These are drivers that we know are used to seeing up in our top 10, if not top 5.
So Samuel, the other night, I was able to look at some information here as we see Lowther now trying to throw the block on Reynolds. Brightsman and Newton and Paul Newton still go side by side. Ryan King and Smith on the outside looking in. And as you mentioned, Samuel, to qualify for the playoffs, you must have first have won an event. If you haven't won a race, they're going to take your 18 best regular season races of the season. They're going to drop it down to the 15 best weekly of the year. And then, of course, in doing so, you've got to be in the top 20 in the point standings. So it's not kind of like where it mimics NASCAR. You win the race, you go to the playoffs, you go to run for a championship. There's kind of a little bit more stipulations involved as we watch these drivers of Brightsman, Newton, King, and Smith still battle off too.
Well, I mean, it still kind of mimics NASCAR in a way. I mean, there still is those stipulations. It's just instead of the top 20, it's the top 30 you got to be inside of points-wise for that win to count. So, and, you know, for the fact that, you know, virtual side of things, drivers do miss races, which is big losses in points. Well, on NASCAR side of things, it's very rare to see drivers miss a full race. Usually you're racing the whole season.
Yeah, to be better clarifying on this, if you win a race, that's great, but you must have competed in 18 regular season races and also be in the regular season points in the top 20. At the end of the regular season, the Northwest Racing Series officials will then convene. They drop you down to your 15 best races. And here's the thing, Samuel, that's something to think about. You might have somebody like, for instance, I don't know, Dennis Moore, who's the points leader. He's leading. Let's say he has a bad night tonight or the next 3 weekends. He has DNFs, but he had solid finishes across the board and consistent on points. Once everything's reset and tallied, you can take these 3 bad races and finishes away, and that gives you an opportunity to reset and run for a championship as Reynolds and Lowther go side by side. This is for the top 10.
Yeah, battle for the top 10, and right now, Lowther, like he's been doing for most of the season, he'll qualify well up front, and then he just doesn't have the long run pace. He'll drop like a rock, be quick for the first 2 to 5 laps, and here we go. He's about to fall outside the top 10, and we're about to go 3 wide for a quick moment there.
Yeah, thought about it, backed away. Now they're going to go 2 by 2, if you will, at full song with Reynolds on the bottom. Lowther sideways just a little bit. Brightsman will come and play wingman with him, Maverick and Goose, if you will, up the outside. Here comes now Ryan King on the bottom. All that's going on for position is there's a little contact there. Boy, on board with Sean Brightsman. Reynolds was on driver left off of 2 there.
Yeah, it was close. Reynolds, though, really cranking on that steering wheel, trying to make sure that he did not make official contact with Brightsman. They continue to race on, but certainly the scare always there. And that's the big thing with the concrete. And with this tire wear, driver on the outside, when you get into these longer runs, you can get a great launch out of the corner, but the center, that inside line, just wants to drift up so much. You got to be giving a lot of trust to everyone around you.
Ryan King down to the inside, making that move to the bottom. Here comes now Reynolds. Briar Reynolds following what King did on Paul Newton and Kevin Smith. That goes on. Ritters is also in the game. All this happening as the field working their way back around the racetrack. Of course, Tyler King, the 21, trying to make it 3 wide. Samuel, he wants to go after Lowther and Brightsman again off of turn number 2.
Yeah, I think the big thing for Tyler King is he's trying to utilize the 46 kind of as a, you know, a spear that's just carving its way through, and more of like a battering ram. Try to follow the way of wherever Sean Brightsman goes. I'm going to follow on his tire tracks and just follow and hope that he can take me up to the top 5. If not, at least we're in the top 10 at this current moment, as now the battling for second place is on. Cole Raz, he's going to be passed by Devin West. West now on the move. Driver following back to Wesley. It's the 6 of Chris White.
Yeah, by the way, apologies if I called him Flying Ryan King. I had Ryan King on the brain, but it's actually Tyler King, our buddy of the Northwest. But yeah, Ryan King, a real modified racer, and had the privilege to hang out with him a couple of weeks ago. 22 of 150 laps racing, rolling on. Dan West Jr., Chris White. This goes on for 4th and 5th. Now remember, Samuel, when the race started, Chris White was kind of there battling with Dennis Moore, giving him a fit, but now he's kind of settled back a little bit, saving tires early going, closing in on lap 25. Your thought?
It's more so if he burned the tires. He did the complete opposite of that. He was so aggressive in the early portions. He qualified third, made the pass over Dennis Moore, got about a half a second lead over Moore, and then about 5-6 laps ago has been just losing ground to everyone. It has been a downward spiral for that of the 6 machine, but it's not over yet. It's just this first stint is a lot of learning for the drivers, and especially for the 6. He's got to take this into whenever we come to pit road for these drivers. Just take a little bit of a deep breath and go at it at the next time, which I believe we're about halfway through this stint. We're expecting pit stops around that lap 50 to 60 marker.
Yeah, one of the things I hinted on also as well, Samuel, is if it's racing at nighttime, you might be able to conserve your tires and be a little bit more lenient on your setup and equipment, but unless you do something like Chris White did, you use it up fast. But I was wondering if that could have been the possibility of a strategy of a 2-tire stop races. Hey, look at the Surf Pro 17. Casey Duncan changing up his letters finally. He was in the silver Darrell Waltrip throwback car for a long time, the truck as well, and now he's got Surf Pro Toyota.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing you gotta love about racing on the virtual side of things. You always have the ability to change up these schemes whenever you want. Some of the drivers do have sponsors that they kind of have to be putting on their trucks or cars, but for some, they don't have sponsors they have to worry about, so they can put on whatever they feel like. You know, I feel like running for this week.
That's exactly right, to the back straightaway. Well, we've officially completed 25 laps in this event. And Dennis Moore, the leader. Devin West in second. Cole Raz third. Dan West Jr. fourth. Chris White the top 5. Jeff Stabnow, Aaron Cooper, Kenneth Garber, Tyler King, as well as Sean Brightsman. The top 10. The leaders are off the back straightaway on lap 26, Samuel.
Yeah, and for our leaders, I mean, the big thing for them is setting up how do we want to run down the rest of this field. We're watching Tyler King up to 9th, able to get by that Sean Brightsman, but they're closing in just slowly on Casey Garber, who I talked about as well. Garber was one of those drivers trying to be aggressive on his tires, did a great job moving up that of 4 positions from where he qualified, but for the 94, now kind of in a similar state as Dan Lowther and that of Chris White, just trying to hold on for any position possible until we get to pit road.
King, Garber, this is going on for the 8th and 9th position. Sean Brightsman also reeling him in. A couple of Fords and a Toyota working off of the corner out of turn 4. Samuel, I mentioned it with Justin on the Cup side of things. Aaron Cooper, man, what can you say about Bug Eye 71? He has really turned it up here the last month or so for Cup and Truck Northwest competition.
Yeah, I mean, he's really starting to find that momentum in real just speed and consistency for the 71. I think that also it's been helping him a lot is other drivers have been struggling to find their momentum. And I think that's majority of some drivers, you know, virtual racing isn't always the biggest priority for some of these teams and drivers. So some seasons they're going to be dominant, other seasons they're not. And I got to say for Aaron Cooper, he's really found his place up in the top, 10 to that of the top 15 realm, when he used to be notoriously known for being caught up and having bad luck with wrecks and finishing in the last, trying to just crack a top 20 was always the goal for the 71. It's great to see him now in the top 10 and running. I mean, the first 30 laps in 7th place. That's great to see for Bug Eyes.
And as you see with our broadcast, there is action everywhere. You just saw a few moments ago, Brian Reynolds at the 12. Dan Lowther at 63. Now you see Dan West Jr. in the 55, the 10 of Cole Raz. Now we go back to Aaron Cooper again, battling Jeff Stabnow and Tyler King. Samuel, take your pick. The camera crew are going to get dizzy here.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, you've got the drivers that were being patient and decided, all right, I'm inside of our, 15 laps into a run. It's time to get going. Where we see that of Tyler King and that of Sean Brightsman. And you also got Jeff Stabnow, Aaron Cooper, who are aggressive in the early going. Now feeling that long run speed dwindle away. They really don't have it anymore. And for that of Tyler King and Sean Brightsman, this is great to see for the both of them slowly chipping away to try to get into the top 5.
Back straightaway, all this goes on into the 3rd turn. Sean Brightsman, Jeff Stabnow, Garber, Look at this 6-truck tandem as you put Newton in that dogfight, trying to now reel back in 5th place truck. Chris White, you just saw the back end of his tailgate just a moment ago as he dimes it off into turn number 1. Working now, with still Dennis Moore leading this 6-truck battle. Storm brewing, I think, Samuel, off of turn number 2.
Yeah, I mean, it is one of the more dangerous things to watch out for. It's when you got a group like this. We're 33 laps into a run, old tires for the drivers that are on the inside. You got to trust that they're going to hold on and stick as Casey Garber tries to stick for himself. But Tyler King struggling to make this pass over Aaron Cooper, and that's the power of the outer lane. But right now, Jeff Stabnow just faltering and going backwards. Same with everyone else. I mean, it's just this flip-flop of those that were patient in those first 15 laps and those that weren't.
Tyler King, Aaron Cooper, Sean Brightsman. This battle continues on. By the way, almost a 5-second lead for the points leader, the man up in front of the Beaver State Racing man, 44, Dennis Moore. Devin West, Dan West Jr., Cole Rass, and Chris White currently your top 5. We're also coming up on the top of the hour. We'll pause for 10 seconds of radio identification on the Community Radio Network for those that are watching iRacing on LSRTV. We're side by side and back from Nashville in a moment.
You're listening to the Community Radio Network. Follow us via social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at CRN Sports. Plus, listen to other games at 87.5 FM or join us anywhere worldwide at wearecrn.com. We are CRN.
Salt Lake top 5, no change. Welcome back, Samuel Dyer, Wesley Outlet here with you. Charles Wooten running the boards Thursday night. Well, we got one of the wall trouble. Oh my goodness.
That's going to be Bryce Clark, who gets into the wall. Aggressive for the 93.
But no caution, Samuel.
Yeah,
that Chevrolet, gotta wonder how badly damaged it is though on the right side of the truck.
Well, it's one of those things where the right side, I think, has been just damaged in general. He's a 1 lap down. He's been just falling backwards. And for Bryce Clark, it just has not been his season. We continue to race on and stay green. But another update, that of Carl Burke, another one of the drivers, calling it a night early for the 53.
Don't forget, this Sunday night, Samuel, myself, along with Charles Wooten and a special guest analyst of Brockton Packard, will be joining us for the World 600 at Charlotte. 600 miles, 400 laps, the true virtual test of man and machine with the throwback of the 87 Cup cars of Fords, Chevys, and Buicks. Samuel, I'm looking forward to Sunday night. That's going to be a fun one. The major series, iRacing on LSRTV and on the Community Radio Network, also Sunday night from Charlotte.
Yeah, I know that's been a race you've been kind of hyping up. If it wasn't the Indy 500, it was the World 600 we're excited about for that of the major series. I mean, it's going to be a blast to watch. 87 cars. Going to be having all types of drivers slipping and sliding for 400 laps. It's going to be a fun one Sunday night. It's also going to probably be a long one.
That is an endurance race at its finest. We've covered a virtual Daytona 500. We covered last month the virtual Indy 500. Now, throw on another 100 miles. We're looking forward to it. We want to go back to what's going on here on track at Nashville for Northwest, but definitely make your plans to join us this Sunday night for that one. Look, Paul Newton, Aaron Cooper, I say it again, Samuel, man, I got to give props to Aaron Cooper. I don't want to jinx him, but what a drive. He's just getting so much better and better and better. And you think of guys like Reynolds, you think of drivers like Garber, Ritters, Duncan, Daggett, even Frank Harris. This is what the Northwest Racing Series was built on, to get these guys more experience, get them better, and make it more competitive to have more chance to get race victories.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where this is what we love to see from the drivers that we've watched for multiple seasons. It's seeing the development from one season to the next, even during the season, of the growth that each driver takes in. Paul Newton, one of those drivers that I've been so proud to just watch how much he's grown each and every season, especially this go around for himself. And he's got that one win at Sonoma, known as the road course ringer for the longest time. And now looking a little bit more consistent, trying to make it into the playoffs this season.
Round number 12 tonight, Nashville. Actually, it's round 13. Yes, I'm sorry. I just shared our YouTube broadcast and it was one off. So that's round 13 tonight. Chris White, Sean Brightsman, by the way. I'll give you that one, Charles. It's a battle for 6th and 7th. This is going on in turn number 3. And Samuel, remember, we mentioned we're in the tires out. But we're seeing now Chris White. Yeah, he lost ground to the leader, but he's still kind of hanging in the top 10.
Yeah, he's hanging on in the top 10 in 7th place, and it helped that he had such a large lead. It also helps that there's a lot of other drivers that kind of did similar action. There were only a handful of the drivers in the middle of the field that are being patient, and that's where we're seeing that of Tyler King, Sean Brightsman, Paul Newton started to make some charges forward. But there's a lot of other drivers that have burnt up their tires so much, they've had to come into pit road. Currently, that of Dan Lather, James Bonney, they've already made their pit stop, and here's Ron Hunter coming in.
Green flag, pit stops, headers piping. Fire on the 22. Ron Hunter, he is in. Samuel, do you think this is just about right? 45, 50 laps or so, we start seeing green flag pit stops. I was honestly thinking it was going to be around 65, 70, maybe even lap 75. Somebody, I thought, maybe would try to roll the dice and do 2 pit stops only.
I was expecting lap 50 to 55, maybe 60 if they were pushing it. That was where I was expecting it, especially with the tire wear that we were expecting from these drivers. I think fuel, they can go to 60 or more, but it's the tires on this concrete. It's so brutal. It's like a cheese grater each time they go into the corners, and there's so much bouncing that's going on. Drivers have a lot to worry about, but for those that are pitting now, they aren't going to be able to make it on a 2-stop. They're going to have to do 3 stops here tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say, we definitely got to keep an eye on that. As there you see father and son, son and father, if you will. Devin West and Dan West Jr. Second and third, 5-6 seconds back to the leader of Dennis Moore. There you see now the battle for 8th and 9th. Cooper inside, back straightaway on Chris White, going down the back straightaway.
And for Aaron Cooper and for Chris White, this is a weird scenario for Chris White. Aaron Cooper now up 2 positions from where he qualified in 10th place, and 71 doing a great job for himself. But here into pit road, you knew he had to come in. Jeff Stab now.
Jeff Stab now coming in. He was in the top 15 before he came onto the pit lane. Obviously, Samuel, and I think we kind of miss hitting on it when we go to the keys to victory, but honestly, it's common sense when you're making green flag pit stops and even making pit stops under yellow, but definitely in green flag mode, you do not want to get busted for speeding on entrance, on exit. You want to hit your marks. You want to be in your pit boxes and get in and out fast.
Yeah, don't want to be caught with any of those flags, as well as you've got to figure out that balance of aggressiveness. Here comes that of Kevin Smith into pit road, as well as Brian Reynolds going to be following behind this 00 machine. And, you know, with all this aggression of drivers trying to maximize their speed, it's great ways to, you know, get any advantage on coming into pit road as fast as possible and also exiting out of pit road as fast as possible.
Kevin Smith on pit road, Hermiston, Washington native. Hey, by the way, we do want to send a hello, Samuel, to Caden Anderson from Yakima, Wisconsin, Yakima, Washington. He was unable to race tonight. He had prior obligations working on the race car. Of course, coming off of that win at Hermiston Raceway with the Northwest Super Late Model Series, real pavement series. I know we've had that name before for our iRacing tour, but the real pavement Super Late Model Series, he won this past Saturday, and I had him on finish line along with Jeremy Mayfield and others, and the replays are available. As right now we are still seeing green flag pit stops, but Caden Anderson just wanted to put in the chat box there, Samuel. Wish I could have been there tonight, but we appreciate you at least watching.
Caden Anderson, obviously, if he had shown up, would have been the favorite to win here tonight. if he had found the setup that Cole Raz is using. But a little bit of an update with talking about the pit stops and not wanting to make mistakes. Tyler King caught with the mistake, overshot his box, had to reverse. That's going to cost the 21 at least 2 to 3 seconds, as the battling for seconds still rages on as we wait for our top 13, excuse me, still needing to come into pit road.
And these are the things that you just talked about and you mentioned, Samuel. You can't make these mistakes. If you make these mistakes, you've literally put yourself in a position, as here comes the leader now, Dennis Moore, taking it all the way to 52 laps, 51 completed actually, before pitting. So under 100 laps to go, 25 to halfway, Samuel, and now Dennis Moore coming to the pits. This will cycle now Devin West to the lead in the 5.
Yeah, I mean, Devin right now, he's got the lead, but how much staying out is it worth with Dennis Moore having such a large gap between the 5 and the 55 before coming into pit road? I mean, I gotta say, Dennis Moore, he is in a comfortable position coming into pit road, and I like to call it the Goldilocks effect. You really are looking for that middle ground. If you're wanting to have the best pit stop, it's come right in the middle of when the first drivers come in and the last drivers. That's truly going to be maximizing those tires.
Father and son flip-flop that. He's running him down, father or son, for that spot into turn number 3. Devin West, of course, only in his 3rd start this year. Shelton, Washington native, winner at Bristol. And look at this, in a tandem together, coming down onto the pit lane, along with also Bryce Clark behind them.
All going to be coming into pit road, and do not get caught with any incidences is the goal. So far, no one's been caught with speeding this first go-around into pit road. And if you do get caught with speeding into pit road, that is a 40-second hold, which will put you at least 2 to 3 laps down if you come into pit road. So drivers do not want to be caught with mistakes. And think back to last season, Dan West Jr. had so many mistakes late in the season. He certainly has cleaned it up here at the start of season 9.
Community Radio Network inviting you not only coverage of the Northwest Racing Series Sunday night with the Major Series, but also Saturday night. We got real racing, County Line Raceway, the I-95 Modified Series. Join Bruce Barrett, Danielle Zinn, Kevin Stump, and yours truly for the broadcast call. That is 7:30 Eastern Time at wearecrn.com at 87.5. And by the way, for those that are listening on the Community Radio Network to live or replay of Northwest Racing Series from Nashville, Samuel, I'm looking forward to this. Effective July 1st, we jump up our bandwidth to a higher frequency, 87.9 FM, as Tyler Kim now comes to the pits in 30.
Yeah, Tyler Kim into pit road, and it's good to see, bumping up the range is always good to see, as 72, little bit of a spill coming in, but BJ Tidrick holds on, not getting into that pit wall. A bit of a scare, though. Luckily slowed down enough for that pit entry. No flag, black flag given to the 72.
BJ Tidrick on the pit lane, the 72 machine now. We'll see what he can do here, as all the while Cole Raz cycles back to the pit lead. 3 seconds back, Sean Brightsman, Garber, Ritters, White, Daggett. Those are your 6 trucks right now, Samuel, I believe, that have not pitted. And then you go back to the cycling transition on the pylon of 7th place driver Dennis Moore on back. They've all pitted. They're a lap down. They'll get it back when the others come in.
Yeah, and Dennis Moore, he had the quick pace at the start as well as the long run speed. And the 44 right now, Wesley, a 9-second gap lead over Devin West. But for West, big advantage. He's got 2 lap, fresher tires than the 44. So he'll try to run down Dennis Moore any way possible. As here's Clifford, Toby Ritter's into pit road.
Clifford, Thunder Road, Budweiser, King of Beers, entry number 23. We'll see what he can do now as he brings his, would you say cherry red, metallic cherry red flavor colored number 23 truck onto the pit lane. It's pretty cool the way it goes through the lights.
Yeah, that metallic color is so pretty to watch whenever drivers put it on, especially under the lights. That's when it is at its best. And certainly I would say cherry, is the perfect color that you could say for that red for this 23.
And Ritter's back on racetrack. Obviously, remember they got to stay off the return road all the way to the blue cone. Off of turn number 2, the grass keeping them separate as now Raz comes in. Brightsman comes in. Top two pitting lap 60. Oh, let's just make the podium come in. Garber in third will pit. Daggett will now be the leader now in 51. Check that. He's coming in. So guess what? Cycle back around in about 5 seconds. Samuel to Dennis Moore back to the lead in 44.
Yeah, and also going to be seen, you know, with everyone going through their pit cycle, looking clean for the majority of them. Do want to give an update for Bryce Clark, who we heard a major slam in the first 15 laps of this race. That 93 is in pit road and is going to be still getting repairs done. Required damage for the 93, as he'll be now currently 8 laps down in 25th position. And as the cycle goes through, we'll wait and see how many drivers are a lap down, because Dennis Moore is flying, and currently he's actually keeping it stable, even though he's got 3 lap worse tires than Dan West Jr. and Devin West. They've kept the distance equal distant at the moment.
So this cycle of green flag pit stops has now subsided with only 18 trucks on the lead lap. Chris White, first truck, 1 lap down as we see Brian Reynolds, Aaron Cooper. This is in 8th and 9th on the speedway down the backstretch. 18 trucks. And Samuel, fairly quiet race so far. Nashville is just providing this opportunity, I think, and everybody's minding their P's and Q's here in the opening 60 laps as well.
Yeah, Nashville is all about just tire saving, which means the drivers are not going to be aggressive. If you are aggressive, like we saw from Chris White and others, it's going to put you further back in the field, and you're going to be struggling and really wishing that you had saved those tires in the early portions of this race, because if you've saved those tires for the long run, your overall average pace is higher. If you're fast for the first 5 laps and then you really drop off and your tires fall off like a cliff, then your average is going to be worse for the longer stint. So drivers have to find that balance, and that's what we're seeing right now from the drivers that are up front. They've found the balance of pit stops when to come in, as well as when they want to use up these tires.
So let's watch Cooper now and Reynolds go at it. I was going to say, let's give you a rundown of the race. We're on lap number 65. Let's wait till we get halfway through the race in another 10 laps and see where things shuffle up there. So far, no harm, no foul. Quick race as we're approaching quickly halfway. Honestly, Samuel, they're all trouble. Oh no, front straightaway. Duncan got turned. 11th place truck. Duncan in 17. He had some help. Still no caution, Samuel. We saw Bryce Clark into the wall. We saw Duncan spin. I think they're going to give us a replay here in just a moment, because our cameraman was dead on it. But no caution, Samuel.
Yeah, no caution. The 17, yes, he was spun, he was sideways, but he was off the racing surface. He was down below where it didn't matter, as you're going to be seeing that of Cole Raz as well as that of Duncan. And you see the 17 come down, just a late block, lazy block, and get spun around.
And then by the time that Duncan went around from the contact with Raz, he goed, as you said, down to the bottom of the apron, into the grass. And then, and another thing, Samuel, no trucks around him. If there might have been a pack of trucks in his mist, they probably would have threw the yellow flag. But because he had no trucks there, I think iRacing and the Northwest officials said, you got plenty of time to get going. Get going. Let's keep this yellow from coming out.
Yeah, and we utilize the iRacing flag system. So it's all about having drivers being spun 45 degrees or more in front of an oncoming traffic. If there's oncoming traffic, then it will deem it as a yellow. But if the driver is spun down on the apron or is stopped on the apron, the race will continue to stay green, as they are not impeding oncoming traffic at all. But gotta say, for a driver that's just carving his way through the traffic, Cole Raz, he's now up to 8th.
Somehow, some way, just kind of carving through the field, if you will. And, well, Duncan falling all the way back to 17th in truck number 17, and he is the last truck, Samuel, on the lead lap. He's about 30 seconds back, as we are coming up on lap number 70 and a few more laps, 5-6 laps to halfway. There you see father, son, second and third on the racetrack comfortably right now in turn number 3.
Yeah, and they're slowly chipping away. They finally have been able to at least cut down at least 1 second over Dennis Moore. A little bit more than that coming across the line, but Dennis Moore doing a great job. But, you know, for Dan West Jr., Devin West, this is a great run, especially after, you know, Wesley Monday night. A little bit of controversy between father and son late in the race.
Yeah, that was very interesting where they kind of about tangled with each other. And watching now Lowther, Moore, Dennis Moore, Frank Harris up the racetrack, mind you. This goes on out of turn number 2. 71 of 150. Frank Harris, another driver that's right now doing really well. Last couple of weeks, Samuel, solid top 15. Right now in 13th on the racetrack in the Silver 11.
Yeah, Frank Harris right now, I mean, doing a decent job for himself. Still searching for his first top 10 of the season. He's got himself finished at 12th at Daytona, best finish of the season. Then he got a 13th finish at Sonoma. Gateway, he got 14th, and everything else has been outside of the top 15. And, you know, the finishes haven't been the best for the 11 just because late in the races when there's a lot of restarts, cautions are coming out. Misfortune soon to strike that Frank Harris, but certainly a driver seeing an opportunity to maybe try to get one of his best finishes of the season to finish inside of our top 12.
And understanding Carl Burke is now out of the race. No, James Vining is out. Oh my goodness. Oh wow, something happened to the Catman, James Vining. My apologies. I was looking at the time of the scoring and I just seen where James Vining out. As here comes now the field working into 3, closing in on halfway. Harris, White, this going on for 13th and 14th. Harris now getting some company. Chris White down to the inside, past start finish line. That goes on Samuel back into turn number 1 and 2. Lowther behind them, as well as another driver, Ledbetter, making his debut with the series tonight. Solid top 15 right now, top 20 for the 7-Eleven.
Yeah, 7-Eleven certainly is trying to get his best run right now. As gotta say, for that Jayden Ledbetter, really trying to just stay inside of the lead lap. He's the last driver on the lead lap. Doesn't want to go a lap down, but it's looking like it might happen here in the next about 10 laps, just at the raw speed that Dennis Moore's been putting down.
Coming to the cross flags here in just another half a lap here at Nashville. Still no yellow flag in this race. We have seen sheer domination, Samuel, by Dennis Moore. The only time the scoring pylon ever changed was during a cycle of green flag pit stops, which saw 2 different leaders prevail, and then Dennis Moore right back up on the top of the scoring pylon. Halfway home now, 75 in, 75 to go here in round 13 for the Northwest Trucks at Nashville.
And this is the battling that's going on for 8th, 9th, and 10th place on screen, as that of Aaron Cooper is going to be going down, and Jeff Stabnow going to be seeing Sean Bryceman moving forward. Jeff Stabnow trying to hold off for 8th place, and a great job for themselves just holding around this top 10 positioning is Aaron Cooper. Jeff Stabnow just trying to get a good finish for himself, and same could be said for that Sean Bryceman, who tried a different strategy for himself, staying out as late as possible and currently working out as he's cracked now up into 8th position.
Yeah, by the way, can I give a shout out to a buddy of mine, Jim O'Shields, on the way up 40 going to Tennessee, and he just said, man, listening to you and Samuel call the race on iRacing on LSRTV and CRN sounds like the real deal on the way to call a Race Direct Sprint Cars at Thunder Hill Raceway tomorrow night in Tennessee. So, well, Jim, you ain't missed anything. You ain't heard missing anything when I say describing what's going on the racetrack, Samuel. We're halfway home. No cautions, and for the most part, a clean race. I'm not saying that it's not been exciting. We've had some pretty good moments, but it's been clean for the most part.
Yeah, that's the big thing for these drivers, wanting to keep it as clean as possible as the pass for 5th place going to be made, for the 10 machine of Cole Raz getting by that of Tyler King, and King going to be falling backwards for himself. And Speaking of going backwards, over the radio, been hearing a lot of chatter. Frank Harris has been struggling for the 11 after we complimented him so much. I think we might have put a little bit of a curse on that Frank Harris, just a little bit, as some other battles that are going on track. Here is that of Garber. Reynolds, this is for 11th that's going on screen.
My goodness, we can't win. We just cannot win. Hey, by the way, want to join iRacing? Official, League, AI Racing, and more. For more information, go now to iRacing.com. That's iRacing.com. We'd love to have you also join us here with iRacing and our coverage of iRacing on LSRTV. I lost my train of thought there for a second. I was trying to find a way, Samuel, to segue that. But, yeah, Brian Reynolds in the 12. He is in the 12th position. Jack Daniels' number 12 machine, trying to run down Garber. And I think we're at a point of the race now for our broadcast, Samuel, where you just got to try to find something, because we're kind of all relaxed out here around the racetrack for the time being.
Yeah, I mean, there's some drivers that are just in a, I'm going to survive and make it until my next pit stop. And there's others that are recognizing, I've got fresh tires. I got to make all these passes and gain all the time back that I've kind of given up by staying out to make sure I've got the freshest tires for a longer run. And Cole Raz, one of these drivers that's on the hard charge, makes the pass for 4th place over that of Kevin Smith. And Kevin Smith, big kudos to Double Zero, up 10 positions from where he qualified. Qualified back in 15th, up to 5th. Good job by the Double Zero machine, but Cole Raz certainly is on the go, and he's made a couple of passes, he's made a couple of contacts with other drivers, but for Raz, makes sense that he's so quick, but the issue, Wesley, he's 15.8 seconds back from Dennis Moore.
Oh yeah, you're exactly right. And mind you, first to second is still almost 8 seconds back to Dan West Jr. Dennis Moore to Dan West Jr., 8 seconds. That's first to second. That's how big of a lead Dennis Moore has. Here's Tendrick. Here's Daggett. There goes that new driver we just mentioned, the 7-11, a lap down of Ledbetter. By the way, welcome to the Northwest Racing Series family, Jayden Ledbetter.
And
all this going on.
Wesley, this group is for drivers, all for positioning. This is all for that of 15th to 18th in this group. And so it makes sense. We're going to be seeing side-by-side pass made for 15th. Troy Daggett over that of BJ Tendrick. And it's going to be Ledbetter and also Duncan trying to work with one another.
And I want to make an apology as well, as you said, Samuel. It's for position on the racetrack. They are a lap down, but they're racing hard for those spots. Right there, as now we see Chris Camary in the 20th spot, down 2 laps down.
And you also can see a little bit of damage on the 17. That going to be Casey Duncan. That contact is going to be from when he got into that of the 10 of Cole Raz when they made their issues, and hoping to continue to race on and keep as clean as possible from here on out. As here's going to be a replay of more contact with that of Casey Duncan.
Is that stabbing?
No, that's
oh my goodness. That's Duncan again.
Duncan and Ledbetter. That just happened a few laps ago. But Duncan trying to get by Ledbetter, gets into that outside wall on the backstretch and just not being fully clear all the time as Brian Reynolds and Chris White for 12th place. That 6 machine moves on by.
Chris White in 12th. Now getting around the 12 of Reynolds. Brian Reynolds 13th on the racetrack. They go back into turn number 1 and 2. 87 of 150 laps. Samuel, could we see? Never mind, I'm going to shut up. I wanted to say, my producer Charles said, don't say it. Don't say it, Wesley, don't say it.
It's almost like we just gave a curse to Frank Harris, and you want to throw more juju out there?
Did we see a CF race? Well, I mean, Ritters up high out of 4, Ritters and West. I'm sorry, that's actually the Ledbetter machine. And Samuel, now that's very confusing because I do want to say this. Ledbetter and Ritters might be friends, I don't know, or it's just coincidence, but they are driving a Budweiser King of Beers truck that literally almost are identical to one another, with the exception of that off the lights metallic, if you will, reflection.
Yeah, I mean, Ledbetter going with a lot more of the traditional logo of the Budweiser, and also going to be having black trim on the edges and on the front bumper. As for Tony Ritters, he's going with a lot more of just the bold lettering for his scheme, and it's all that of a much brighter cherry red metallic, as Ledbetter went with a lot more of a darker red for himself.
And we're actually now with lap traffic versus lead lap traffic on the racetrack, as we have Devin West in the middle of that sandwich with Duncan and Ledbetter for 18th and 17th on the racetrack. Lap 90 on the board, by the way.
Lap 90 is down, and this is going to be the ringing of drivers thinking about coming into pit road here in the next 5 to 10 laps, which could be the money stop for some of these drivers. Some have already pulled it into pit road and called it a night. Carl Burke was the first of those, with James Viney being the second into pit road. That of Bryce Clark back in to get service for himself, and now Ron Hunter coming into pit road, and he's been in pit road for quite a long time for the 22. Got ourselves just about that 12 drivers on the lead lap, but we got plenty of drivers 1 lap down or 2 still running.
90 laps in. Well, let's just give you the full field rundown. As Samuel just said, Dennis Moore is leading. Dan West Jr. in second, Devin West third, Cole Rass fourth, Kevin Smith right there. You see the truck top 5, Sean Brightsman behind him in 6th, Tyler King 7th, Paul Newton 8th, Eric Cooper 9th, Casey Garber in 10th, Jeff Stabnow 11th, Chris White 12th, and halfway through the field, Brian Reynolds, the first truck a lap down in 13th there, Samuel.
And then 14th is going to be Toby Ritters. 15th is going to be Troy Daggett. 16th is BJ Tidgerick with Casey Duncan at 17th for the 17 machine. And then 7-11 of that of Ledbetter going to be in 18th with Tyler Kimmin. 19th, 20th is going to be that of Chris Camary. Frank Harrison 21st. Dan Lowther is going to be in 22nd. Ron Hunter 23rd. Out of this race, James Vining in 24th position. Bryce Clark still in pit road in 25th. And out of this race, Carl Berg. Those are our 26 drivers that started this race.
93 of 150. This race flying by very quickly here at Nashville Super Speedway. Welcome to coverage for iRacing on LSRTV. Listening on the Community Radio Network in the Triangle of North Carolina, 87.5 FM. Effective July 1st, 87.9 FM. We're excited about the new transition change. With all these new happenings, nothing will change as far as our coverage of iRacing. Don't forget Sunday night. Samuel, I know we hit it on this again. It's such an awesome honor to be a part of the American Sportsman part of the Major Series. We're going to see some really good racing, I believe, on Sunday night in the World 600.
Yeah, World 600 Sunday night. The drivers will be each week. I mean, each time that they run around, it is at a different track and with a different vehicle. It alternates from road course to oval. This go around this Sunday for the majors, it's at an oval. And the vehicle, the 87 Cup cars. It's been a blast to watch how iRacing has been developing that car each and every update. And it is going to be a fun thing to watch. They've got 3 different Cup machines that are going to be a blast to see how well they can handle Charlotte for 400 laps.
And I'll be honest with you, Samuel, with the Cup car, the 87 Cup car, with the speeds that it can run around 160, 170 miles an hour, I'm honestly thinking that it's probably about the same equivalent of what these new next-gen cars can do. We're looking at probably about the equivalent of a 5-hour race for 600 miles on Sunday night.
I wouldn't be surprised if we somehow make it even longer than that, just on the fact that it is going to be a handful. These 87 Cup cars we're going to see on Sunday night are just a different beast than the Cup machines that we run currently, just because of the fact that it's all about that rear end, always wanting to kick out on you on every single corner. They're going to have to deal with a lot of tight in, loose off feelings and sensations on fresh tires, old tires. It's going to be crazy to watch. And as well, Wesley, we're going to be probably seeing tires bouncing everywhere, bumpers flying off. It's going to be crazy to watch the damage model on those 87s.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The new damage models, we might even see possibly the virtual tires coming off and flying in the grandstands or over the fence, if you will. It should be a fun time. Oh, and by the way, amongst all of that exciting chaos and mayhem virtually, nobody will be hurt in the making of the World 600 for the Major Series on Sunday night. You want to check it out. Yeah, except for their pride, exactly, yes. So that's Sunday night, Brightsman, Raz, this is heating up. We're running out of stuff to talk about, literally 4th and 5th on the racetrack, and now Garber and Cooper going at it. I'm in the top 10. Samuel, I say it again, it's so good to see Aaron Cooper get some TV time, and not for bad luck either.
Yeah, not being wrecked out. It's great to see that machine. And if you're running out of things to talk about, Wesley, that's good because we're seeing pit stops now starting to happen. And so we got other things to talk about as well. And, you know, with the drivers coming into pit road, this will be their money stop. And like we parked on every time, Wesley, penalties.
I was going to say that money stop. Here we go. Ritters is in. Stabnow's in. Now, my question is this, Samuel. Are you being more smart coming in now like we're seeing Ritters and Stabnow doing on strategy?
Well, the big thing for these drivers that are coming in now, they kind of laid their own bet on that first pit stop. I'm expecting a lot of these drivers were hoping to see a yellow come out to try to change up if they felt like they needed to use those, you know, tires in a different manner. But because a lot of these drivers were the ones that pitted back on lap 45, and also some even pitted on lap 40, they were forced to come into pit road at this moment. And also, the long run speed just wasn't there. They were losing too many positions or just too much time. Forced to come into pit road, which is a struggle for some. And now we're going to be seeing the rest of these drivers trickling in for the next 10 to 15 laps.
There you see 7-11 Ledbetter up on the outside of the racetrack. It's Brightsman and Smith come after him. 2 wins this year. Kevin Smith, Samuel, he's another one of those drivers that, this was no disrespect to our buddy out of Hermiston, Washington. He used to struggle. He used to be like the Troy Daggett's or the Duncans or the Aaron Coopers and that 00, and finally broke through with an ARCA win, then a Northwest Truck win, then a Cup win. And he is now one of those guys that you definitely got to pack a big lunch and never count out that 00 of Kevin Smith.
Well, you got to think of, last season. I mean, with the addition of having the ARCA series, that series was birthed just to help drivers like Kevin Smith, drivers that really didn't feel like they had championship hopes that they were driving for, and it gave them opportunities to sit down, drive the ARCA car, develop, learn, to have more experienced drivers like the Sean Brightsman, Dan West Jr.'s that have won championships in the Northwest Series, in the Cup and the Truck sides, come in, give advice, give their inputs to help these drivers week in and week out. And that whole entire last season of the ARCA Series, Ryan Bloom, winner of the ARCA Series, it helped then of Kevin Smith and many of other drivers to get faster. Dennis Moore was even one of those drivers a part of the ARCA Series and almost won the championship.
You're exactly right. As here comes now father and son giving up a top 3 run right now. Dan West Jr., Devin West is in, making pit stops. Money stop, as Samuel reminded you of. We're, by the way, on lap 104 of 150. Under 50 laps to go. This race has just skyrocketed into another level. We're just over an hour, Samuel, being on the air, and this race is literally in the final 50 laps of the stretch of the finish.
Yeah, it's been a flyer, but certainly are trying a lot of different ways of trying to get us jinxed. I don't know why you always want to pressure us on this, but you're trying your hardest. As you saw there, Dennis Moore in his pit box, Paul Newton as well, and Kevin Smith trying to get himself in. I'm not saying it. You're the one who's getting close. You're the one who's playing with fire. Also going to be seeing BJ Tidrick into pit road. So we're starting to see a good cluster of drivers. Next group, I'm expecting Tyler King, Aaron Cooper to come to pit road with that of Ledbetter. Oh,
Here's
no.
Well, no.
Wesley, why you got to bring it out? They
No caution, dude. No caution. Look at this.
And Raz cannot get away from one another.
Daggett and Raz. Raz and Daggett. What is that, the second or third time they've got together?
Oh, well, that's Casey Duncan and going to be Cole Raz. This is the second time this go around, though. And coming out of the corner is going to be the 10 and the 17. as almost making contact, same spot that they did the last time they were close to this one another. But into turn number 1, blocking contact. Cole Raz has to be frustrated and fuming with the 17, and then slams him into the wall to finish him off.
Hey, and Duncan and Raz have got together earlier tonight as well, Samuel, as you mentioned. They got history. And green flag pit stops continue. Oh, and mind you, still no caution.
Yeah, of course you did it last time. You do it again. As
I will say this, our over-under is just completely shot right now, Samuel.
Hey, I showed up late, so I never had to place any numbers on what we thought could potentially happen. We were just, showed up, expected tire wear to be the big factor, and it really has been. But, Nashville Superspeedway, due to the fact that everyone is so concentrated on just running the race and saving their tires for the longer run, it usually means the drivers are not trying to be aggressive, trying any hero moves to pass one another with no surprise. Oh, boy! Well, there's that bad luck for Dan West Jr.
Dan West Jr. in the grass, 8th. And by the way, for the 4th time tonight, still no caution.
The fire is there. You really want to get your Banana Republic flag out there, don't you?
We got the fire down below, as they said, right? It's just like, come on, get it, don't say, ah!
I mean,
it's like the little fishing guy, remember? Oh, you almost had it. You got to be quicker than that.
Instead of a red flag, it's the yellow flag for you.
Yes.
As the drivers continue to race on, still waiting on that of 4 to 5 drivers still needing to come into pit road. That being currently on screen leader, that is Sean Breisman. Cole Raz still needs to come to pit road. Casey Garber, Aaron Cooper, as well as Chris White. And the last driver, Tyler Kim. Also that of Chris Camary. All still need to come to pit road, and that will be the final drivers come to pit road. But we're now 40 laps to go, soon to be less than 40 laps to go. If you're staying out this long, you better be hoping that we get a yellow flag right when you get out of your stall, so you can take an advantage of having fresher tires.
Yeah, and by the way, Sam, I'm a statistic guy. If this race goes caution-free to the finish, as we see a replay of what I believe happened to Dan West Jr. here. 55, watching him, yeah. About 20, okay. As we're going to look at a replay for the 55 of Dan West Jr., just give us a few moments. We kind of went a little too far.
Oh, Bryce
Look
Clark,
at this,
no.
Bryce Clark. This is what happened to DWJ. What a save there, Samuel. What a save. He sticks to landing in the grass.
He saved it, but so much time was lost. You got to think that he was running with his son of Devin West, 7th place. He was running in 8th before that happened.
Oh.
There's Kim.
Tyler Kim goes around. I think that he spun excellent coming off of pit road there, Samuel.
Yeah. We throw some bad juju out. You never know what's going to happen, and everyone's now having issues.
Anyhow, what I was going to say was that if this race goes caution-free, Samuel Dyer, this will be the first time since Iowa last year when the Truck Series went caution-free for a race for the Northwest Racing Series. Look at this. Moore and Cooper going at it now. This is for 4th and 5th. How about it? Aaron Cooper, bug eyes, got it going on in turn 1.
I mean, he certainly is just trying to hold on for now, as he's going to be passed with fresher tires going to the 44. But for Aaron Cooper, he's got to be careful. The drivers around him have the fresher rubber. They're trying to get by him, and Cooper still needs to come into pit road. And by him staying out, he is banking and wanting a caution to come out as soon as possible. Not going to into pit road to 71.
Cooper's in 71, as Samuel mentioned. Whoa, don't lock it up, buddy. I bet Samuel, he might have a penalty coming. I think he got on the binders a little too late there.
And I mean, that certainly is, looking at it, doesn't look like the 71 did get a penalty. I think he just locked it up. I mean, he's on such old tires. He was out there for 61 laps on those tires. They were really gone, no grip. Getting on the brakes was going to be a hard thing for himself, as into pit road, Cole Raz for the 10.
Cole Raz in 4th. He's had his share of some crazy moments tonight along with Duncan and others. As here comes the 10. By the way, Brightsman now the leader here. Closing in on the finish. Under 40 to go.
Chris Mary now into pit road, leaving us with just our going to be 3 more drivers still need to come in. Our leader, Sean Bradsman, who's being run down by Dennis Moore, as well as that of Casey Garber and Chris White, all still need to come into pit road. And for the drivers that are staying out, that are already been passed by Dennis Moore and still need to go to pit road, that being Casey Garber and Chris White, they're going to go a lap down, if not more, which then is going to leave us, Wesley, with just 7 drivers, potentially 6, on the lead lap.
Paul Newton on the racetrack, sitting there, the Sonoma winner, by the way. The Paul Newton Designs number 27 up the racetrack, working back into 3 and 4. Tyler King up on the outside. Frank Harris, give him some room. Closing in, Samuel, 30 to go here in Nashville.
Yeah, it's inching closer and closer. Sean Brightsman now going to come into pit road, as well as going to be Casey Garber coming in. Will Chris White come into pit road? That's going to be a big question to watch out for. But certainly a lot of drivers, as there's our final driver coming into pit road. It is fully gone through. Everyone can make it from here to the end, Wesley. And question is, how many drivers are going to be a lap down? Because Dennis Moore has been on a terror, and we can be down to just 6 drivers on the lead lap by the time that Moore comes on by.
Picking them up and putting them down with 30 laps to go here next time by at Nashville. Dennis Moore, for the 2nd time, has went through the cycle of green flag pit stops on fuel strategy, saving tires. Now he's ready to go to the finish. Gaggle of traffic off turn 4. Stab down. Newton, King, Harris. This goes on, mind you, for 4th, 5th, and 6th with a lap truck of Harris going in there in that battle off of 2 there, Samuel.
Yeah, Frank Harris has been a driver that's kind of just been falling backwards. He's truly been struggling the longer we get into a run. As Chris White out of pit road, fresh tires, expecting him to just cruise on by this pack of drivers we're watching. Again, this is for 5th place. Tyler King has been doing a fabulous job cutting through with the fresher tires. Now going to get by that of Jeff Stab. Now Paul Newton's going to be the next driver in front of him. Tyler King could be in an opportune position to try to run down that of Kevin Smith, but it's going to be a big gap for the 21 to try to get to that 0-0.
Tyler King, American touch-up entry, number 21. You know what, Samuel, looking at the stats and the points and roster, we're missing some guys tonight that we usually are used to seeing, kind of like Stephen O'Hare and, you know, John Audenbacher comes to mind. Just some of the names that are not present here this evening, but still a good turnout.
Yeah, it's still, oh boy. Tyler Kim, give it a little bit of a scare. Woo. And it's, I don't know why it is, but Cole Raz has got to be feeling some type of frustration or just scared, because he's had a bad home around him. I feel like almost every driver that has had some type of issue has been around the 10, or it's been around the 55 and continue to race on as we're closing in on 25 laps to go. But yeah, to add on what you were just bringing up there, Wesley, I mean, yes, it's not as big of a field that we're used to, but yeah, that's the good thing of us seeing some new faces trickling in. I mean, some of the drivers that we're used to seeing the past couple of seasons, they might miss a couple of races, but that's the glory of the drivers having drop races, is that you can miss a couple of races and your run for making it into the playoffs is not over.
And we are closing in on 25 laps to go also. Hey, let's step away real quick. Side by side, you don't miss anything. We're also coming up in about 10 minutes to the top of the hour. We'll do our final network ID on the Community Radio Network. We'll take you to the finish from Nashville next.
You're You're listening to the Community Radio Network. Follow us via social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at CRN Sports. Plus, listen to other games at 87.5 FM or join us anywhere worldwide at wearecrn.com. We are CRN.
Broadcast personality Wesley Outland, and for the second year in a row, the Community Radio Network is excited to also be the voice of iRacing on LSRTV every Monday and Thursday night with the Northwest Racing Series for Cup and Truck. Join yours truly, Justin Prince and Samuel Dyer, every week as they race towards a championship. We're also on the radio in the Triangle in the Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina area at 87.5 WCRN and anywhere worldwide at wearecrn.com. Click play, check out the coverage, the power of radio to the imagination of the listener, esports style. We are the Community Radio Network, the voice of iRacing on LSR TV. Check it out when you can, and replays are always up too.
Ready to bring this one on home for a late night snack. Maybe supper for Samuel if he's in the West Coast, as it's only, what, 10 o'clock. You're having a late dinner if that happens, Samuel. Welcome back, iRacing, LSR TV, Community Radio Network. I'm Wesley Outlet, Samuel Dyer alongside Caution Free in Nashville as we are coming in to close to 20 laps to go, and it has been sheer domination, Sammy, by Dennis Moore in 44. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, for Dennis Moore, this has been incredible to watch. The pace that he's going, we could be left with just 5 drivers left on the lead lap just because Dennis Moore is going this fast. He's catched up to that of 7th place runner Dan West Jr. Jeff Stabnow just a couple of car lengths ahead of this 55 machine, and the difference in speed is so drastic. It's crazy to think, but the tire difference, Wesley, they pit at the same exact time, but Dennis Moore is just that much faster.
Yeah, just that good, if you will. John Odenbacher says hi. Hola, my friend. Love to see him back again. Billings, Montana, number 89. As all the while, here they come off of turn number 4. Moore, West, Smith, Newton, King, Samuel, Jeff Stabnow, 6th. He's got to be happy with that run tonight.
Yeah, I mean, especially with, you know, the fact that he's been having such a good run here so far. The goal is to try to keep up this momentum for the rest of the night. There's 20 laps to go. Anything could potentially happen. If we look at the pattern that how tonight's been going, you never know what could happen because, yes, it's been a great run so far. We've had 2 green flag pit stops, but there have also been plenty of opportunities for a yellow flag to fly, but because they've been off the racing surface and on the apron or in the grass, no yellow has been thrown so far, but Wesley, we know it is always looming, especially in the final 20 laps.
Yeah, it definitely is, man, as we watch Tab now, and there is Dan West Jr., Sean Brightsman. This is for 7th and 8th. You saw Tyler King and Stabnow battling for position. It's go time. Jeff Stabnow, last truck, mind you, on the lead lap. And mind you, he's fighting to stay on the lead lap right now. The tail end, Dennis Moore trying to get around him. He's a lap down. 5 trucks on the lead lap separated by 25 seconds as 18 to go is on Speedway. And Samuel, 5th place, 25 seconds. 2nd spot, Devin West, 16.6 seconds back to the leader.
Yeah, I mean, with 18 laps left, you never know if Devin West is running fast enough. I'm looking at the time difference. Too big. Dan West Jr. gets a little hectic, holds on for now, but Thoroughly 55 wants to see this race to be over as battling from up front. That of Sean Brightsman doesn't want it to be just 5 cars on the lead lap. Let's make it 6 once again.
And I'll just say this, that somehow, some way, DWJ keeps on the straight and narrow and gets back going again. So, man, oh man. Dennis Moore looking, there you see him in the black Beaver State Racing entry right between Brightsman and the driver, Jeff Stabnow, who he just put a lap down. Now running down Sean Brightsman, Samuel. This would put only 5 trucks on the lead lap. Sean Brightsman just got his lap back, actually. So whatever's going on with 46, he's fighting to stay on the lead lap, mind you.
Yeah, he just made the pass to unlap himself just about 3 laps ago, so he's feeling pretty confident for himself. We might be back to just 7 on the lead lap because Cole Raz has fresher tires than Dennis Moore, but Dennis Moore certainly has been doing a great job. And watch out for the 11. Frank Harris has been struggling here late on older tires. He'll stay high, trying to avoid any type of collisions with anyone else, but the 11, we hyped him up of having such a great run, and oh, that boy, he was trying to get out of the way, but it hurt that of Cole Raz and Jeff Stab now for a quick second.
Yeah, Cole Raz and Duncan had problems earlier. Now will Cole Raz and Stab now size each other up. Not 10 strong pulls away. He's still a lap down, by the way. 6 trucks on the lead lap. 15, under 15 remaining, 14 to go. By the way, if Dennis Moore wins this race, he'll be the first, he will be another driver that has 2 wins on the year with multiple wins, joining Kevin Smith. And of course, Cole Raz has the most at 3 so far. Singles for Caden Anderson, John Onnebacher, Paul Newton, Stephen O'Hare, Chris White, Devin West right now as we get ready to wrap it up here at Nashville. Samuel, we're off next Thursday for 4th of July. Obviously for the 4th of July holiday, mind you, is what I was meaning to say, as the leaders work their way back across start finish. This time by in a 1 and 2. Reynolds and Cooper going at it. We return on July 7th at COTA. That's going to be fun. Oh, and Road America for the Cup cars on Monday night.
Yeah, and it's going to be COTA, and then we go to Road America right after that. So we're going to have a little bit of a road course parade for the next 2 weeks after we come back for July 7th and July 14th, where those road courses, that Road America race, as well as COTA, it's going to be long. Both going to be 45 laps. And these drivers are going to have to deal with that marathon of all the corners they have got to deal with those 2 long road courses.
Oh, and by the way, Samuel, these drivers, as we approach 12 laps to go, Newton, King, Hendrick going at it for position on the racetrack. All this is lap trucks and more. Fighting for position is obviously Newton and King for 4th and 5th. Down the back stretch, going to turn number 3, coming to 10 to go this time by for the leader, Dennis Moore. But what I was going to reiterate on is, as we prepare to be off next week for 4th of July, then when we come back for the Northwest Racing Series, Cup and Truck, we have got 8 rolling rigs before Labor Day, and that is the run, the push to get in the top 20 to make a run to the playoffs and go for a championship.
Yeah, we're past halfway. It's go time. If you have been having an off season, if you want to make it into the playoffs, and only 12 drivers make it into the playoffs, so you've got to make sure that you have a very good, strong finish to this regular season. As on screen, whoo, Ledbetter, as well as that of Newton and Tyler King, getting close, and that's the big thing with drivers on these different set of tires. Sean Brightsman with the freshest set, he's now closed in. He's going to try to make this pass and take 2 for 1 here very closely, as King and Newton, they're just sitting ducks to this 46.
Under 10 laps to go. Remember, we're back here with you on next Monday night. Justin Prince and myself from Road America, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, the virtual Road America. Such an awesome racetrack there in the Wisconsin Irish Hills. Closing in on under 10 remaining, now 8 to go. There you see Newton and Brightsman. This going on for 4th and 5th as they work off of turn number 2. Home stretch to the end, Samuel.
And right now with this pass, Sean Brightsman will be tying with the biggest mover of the day with that of Kevin Smith, who's 1 position ahead of this 46 machine. 8 laps to go. Looking at the pace difference, I think Sean Brightsman might be just a little bit too far out, trying to catch up. But Paul Newton's not giving up. He's keeping to the quarter panel of the 46. They head into turn number 1.
Paul Newton, Sean Brightsman continuing the battle. This is for 4th and 5th. Tyler King licking his chops, ready to pounce inside, outside. The conga line now goes single file up the hill as they go to turn number 3 and 7 to go.
As this battle continues to roar on, Newton and King just cannot get off one another, but out of turn number 4, Tyler King certainly has been trying every single push, but the dirty air just too strong. Paul Newton looks like a top 5 finish is in his realm. As I say that, though, take it back. Here comes Tyler King to the inside into turn number 1.
6 remaining. Dennis Moore, Devin West, Kevin Smith, Sean Brinksman, Tyler King now trying to get around Paul Newton for a top 5. That goes on side by side to 3.
And they have been side by side for this whole entire lap, but out of turn number 4, finally going to be clear is Tyler King. And as he drifts up, question is for Newton, he's got the run. He's going to stay just at the quarter panel for that of the 21 of Tyler King, but Newton not able to hold strong and through turns 1 and 2. The better tires, better speed. Tyler King takes that 5th place position.
Coming down to the end of this race, open hand from your flagman on the flag stand, Dennis Moore, and the rest of the field is all the while Tyler King racing hard with Paul Newton. This continuing to be probably the best battle on the racetrack. Washing up the speedway goes King. Diving down to the bottom is Paul Newton. 4 to go. They send it into turn number 1 and 2 with this best battle here down the home stretch at Nashville.
And with the battling that they're doing right now, this is actually bringing in Dennis Moore to potentially close in and try to put down 5th out of 6th and 5th down a lap potentially here. The gap is about 3 seconds, a little big, but you never know if these drivers make contact. That could be Dennis Moore trying to take more drivers with them and just to leave a small fraction of drivers on the lead lap.
Let's just be honest here. As they cross the line now with 3 laps to go, those drivers in front of them have like 3 1/4 laps to go, if you will. That's the interval. When the leader crosses the line to the checkered flag, they're still going to be racing for the white flag, and they're going to have another lap of racing when he is already completed with this event. With now Reynolds now behind Chris White. This going on for 12th and 13th. This is for position, but both trucks are a lap down.
Yeah, Chris White, I mean, this has got to be slightly disappointing for himself in the 6th, but for Dennis Moore, what a run for himself. And this 44 has been so strong all night long, Wesley, and, you know, we shouldn't be surprised by this. Dennis Moore, his 1 win this season was at the other concrete track, Dover. That's where he found that victory.
You're exactly right. Dover concrete here at Nashville, and he has been a top contender all year long and being in P1 as well. Coming to the white flag, the CRN 1 to go. Final time around. Dennis Moore, the Beaver State clan, got to be going bonkers. He's looking for his 2nd win of the year off turn 2. Caution free for the final time of the back straightaway.
It's been incredible to watch this 44 machine. He's been dominating all night long. He had the short run speed, he had the long run speed, and out of turns 3 and 4, Wesley, Dennis Moore for the 4.
150 laps, green to checker, down to the bottom of the racetrack as Tidrick fights to skip back on the lead lap. Dennis Moore will win here tonight at the Nashville Super Speedway. His 2nd win of the year to go along with 9 top 5s and 10 top 10s. The man is just on fire in the trucks, at least for the Northwest Racing Series. And now, mind you, Samuel, we got a battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th to decide as Devin West just crossed the line.
I mean, it was close, but it's over. They finally crossed the line by the time that Dennis Moore was on his cruise to get to the line. That's just how close it was. But Dennis Moore has got to be loving this. And that momentum and carrying and trying to build that lead for the points, it's nice to see.
Celebration beginning now for the driver of Dennis Moore. Obviously, Samuel, a big kudos to him. That was smart to wait until that last truck crossed the line to make sure everybody had been officially completed of the race. And now the Northwest High Five Salute celebration begins as Devin West, Tyler King, Kevin Smith, strike 1, strike 2, trying to get a hit on Dennis Moore in the old ball game infield at Nashville to be a part of that Northwest High Five Salute.
Yeah, some of the drivers saying, you know, we're used to driving on the asphalt or on concrete. The dirt, as we've seen earlier in the season, difficult place to be.
And after so many shenanigans of coming close to see the Banana Republic flag, it just did not happen, Samuel. Caution free tonight at Nashville. Wow. Hey, shout out to John Odenbacher. He is in Norfolk, Virginia for the USS Montana commissioning. So, man, thanks for checking us out. And thank you for all of our military and troops for what they do as 4th of July is upon us. Here is the results. No, do not adjust your sets. Do not go get your eyes checked. The interval, Samuel Dyer, almost 20 seconds back. Dennis Moore just dominated here tonight at Nashville. Devin West second, Kevin Smith third, Sean Brightsman fourth, Tyler King the top 5, Paul Newton is 6th. Everyone else a lap down or more, including Cole Rass, second in the points, 1 lap down. Jeff Stabnow, a top 10, that's still a good finish. Casey Garber and Dan West Jr., the defending series champion, the top 10.
11th going to be that of Bug Eyes Eric Cooper in 11th, with 12th going to be Chris White, with Brian Reynolds in 13th. Toby Ritters comes away with the 14th top 15 run for the 23. With that of Troy Daggett, 15th. 16th is BJ Tidgerick, with that of Jayden Ledbetter going to be in that of 17th, with that of Frank Harris at 18th. Casey Duncan 19th, with Tyler Kim finishing off our top 20. The rest of the grid going to be that of Chris Kamari in 21st, Dan Lawler in 22nd, Ron Hunter in 23rd, and drivers not able to finish out the race, Bryce Clark in 24th. 25th is James Vining in our last driver of the night. 26th runner, that of Carl Burke.
Coming up, the finish line, post-race wrap-up. Remember, the drivers of trucks of the Northwest Racing Series are off next Thursday night. And we'll be right back in just a moment to grab a word with our top 3. Dennis Moore, domination on the concrete. He did it at Dover, as Samuel, my colleague, reiterated on, and he does it again tonight. Maybe even better at Nashville. Stick around. This is the Northwest Racing Series coverage of iRacing on LSRTV and 87.5 WCRN, the Community Radio Network. We're back to talk to the top 3 next. Welcome back to Nashville Super Speedway. It is time for the finish line post-race wrap-up. Hey, by the way, don't forget, next Tuesday and Friday, finish line is live at real racetracks, Caraway Speedway and Carteret County Speedway, for some big races on 4th of July weekend. We're looking forward to having it. All details coming soon at Live Sim Racing and on the Community Radio Network. That is this Wednesday and Friday, upcoming 4th of July weekend. And, of course, we're back. Samuel is here. I'm Wesley. Caution free. Nah. We had a couple of thrills and spills and scares, but never the yellow flag was unfurled. Definitely that flag man got half pay tonight because he didn't use a lot of flags except the green, the white, and the checker. We're going to talk to the top 3. Kevin Smith, 2 wins on the year. You're on the podium. Your take of this caution-free concrete jungle at Nashville tonight, 3rd place.
My take is simple. Dennis just kicked our heinies, but it was a fun race. It was a fun race. You know, got to hand it to him. He comes prepared to these tracks, and he put on a hell of a show. My qualifying effort put me in the back and just got stuck in that first stint behind a gaggle of trucks and just kind of put me back the whole race. But I didn't have anything for him. He did a great job.
I mean, Kevin, you certainly had to work your way through this field, and, you know, seeing how you had to work from each pit stop and how you had to go through everyone else that was on their different sequences of tires, how was it going through the field?
You know, after I got that, I got damage in the first stint, and after I kind of fixed that on the first pit stop, the truck was just super fast, and I could just rip the bottom and do pretty good there if I was patient. So, no, the truck was great. It's good to have a good truck and to be able to get you through those situations.
It is a crazy night. No yellow flags. I was not expecting this, Samuel. Samuel, me and him talked about it, Kevin. But, man, you're taking the year so far. You feel comfortable moving into the midway point, or we're in the second half of the season. You got a week off for 4th of July, that 8-week run to the playoffs. And your take moving into the postseason, Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, I think the green flag racing tonight, and we actually had some good green flag racing on Monday night. I mean, I think that's a good sign. I think we all want to race. I know I've been guilty of being impatient and causing some stuff that I shouldn't. I've tried to exercise some more patience over the last couple of races, and I feel good. I mean, I feel like we're bringing some fast trucks to the racetrack, and we just need to execute, and we'll be up there.
All right, man. Sponsors.
Yeah, I want to thank Click It RV. Anybody in the market for an RV, travel trailer, motorhome, that sort of thing, reach out, clickitrv.com. I just want to thank my teammates. Really, I want to thank Ryan Bloom. He wasn't here tonight. He's vacationing, which he should, but he put a set together tonight for me that was bad fast. So I just want to thank Ryan for putting in time and effort, even in weeks he's not here. So thank you for that, and my teammates, and congratulations, Dennis. It was a great run, Dennis.
Beat those Heinies, as what third place man out of Hermiston, Washington, Kevin Smith said in the analogy of what Dennis Moore did. We'll talk to him in Victory Lane in a moment. Podium, second spot, the driver out of Shelton, Washington. Third race this year. He's got to win. Won the back-to-back year of the Bristol Dirt Race for the series. Devin, it's always great catching up with you, man. You're taking the race and finishing second. And a segue to this, is it a good feeling to know that you're not able to run as much as you'd like before, but as soon as you get right back in the high horse, get on those pedals like riding a bike, running with us, you literally show the opportunity and the strengths that you could actually win with these guys as well. That's got to be a good feeling.
Yeah, it feels great. I mean, obviously, Team LSRTV is a great platform, great foundation, great group of guys that I have behind me. So anytime you get in truck that they give me, I think it'd be disappointing to not go run out front. Then to finish second is pretty darn good. I consider myself a second winner tonight. I don't think Dennis really counts. But no, it was a good race. Just glad to be back, and I should be back for the rest of the season, so it feels good.
Well, it's good to have you back, Devin. I mean, you are always a threat to watch out for. Here tonight, though, it seemed like traffic was the bigger thing to watch out for. Was there any moment that you kind of had a big scare that you were worried some about?
Yeah, I agree with that. Traffic definitely, wasn't exactly on the A game tonight. Fortunately, I was able to avoid most stuff. I got to watch plenty of wrecks in front of me. I feel bad for Dad. Obviously, that was kind of unfortunate. But, yeah, I think you have a long green flag run like that, or a full race like that, and so many different tire strategies, so many different trucks running at all times. It just kind of gets chaotic. So, fortunately, nothing too crazy happened. I kind of stayed on my own path. But, yeah, I agree.
Hey, Devin, I want you to segue this question into also thanking your sponsors in closing. Been a while since you ran with us. Obviously, the one win at Bristol on dirt, and 2 years in a row. What's your take of these young drivers, or these drivers that are gaining more experience, like the Kevin Smiths, like the Paul Newtons, or the Aaron Coopers, or the Kenneth Garbers, the drivers that usually struggle in the back? Now you're starting to see them up in the front. They're making their presence felt in this series.
Yeah, I think it's pretty simple, I think this series has a ton of great drivers in it, and at the end of the day, the more time you put in, the faster you're going to be, because, I mean, guys like Dennis, guys like my team, now Kevin, and like everyone just mentioned, they put in a lot of time, so you can't just show up and just expect to go run up front and win races. So I think it just shows that those guys, have always been good drivers, been around for a long time, and love having them in the series, love racing around them. Yeah, they just start putting more time, and obviously you see it's paying off.
Hey, sponsors, before I let you go.
Oh yeah, let's see, where to start. Effective Web Solutions, Kenny's got some hardwood, Motorsports Distributing, they all help me out in real life, so big shout out to them.
And that's the driver, of course, out of Shelton, Washington, Mr. Devin West, the young man picking it up in the number 2 position here tonight. Let's go to Victory Lane now. And the winner gets it done again. One of our drivers of the Pacific Northwest and the Beaver State Clan Strikes, his second win this year. on concrete, as my colleague Samuel mentioned before, at Dover. Dennis Moore, a big stranglehold now to try to pull away for the points. Good win for you tonight at Nashville. Did you think it would go caution-free?
You know what? I was looking at last year's stats. I think we had 3 cautions or something like that. So I know there's a chance it could go caution-free, especially if we make it through the first 10 laps or so. We get spread out pretty good, and everybody starts to find their groove. We're not racing in a pack anymore. But this more speed Chevrolet was hooked up tonight. I mean, crazy fast.
I mean, Dennis, the only time we saw you being challenged was in the first 10 laps of this race by Chris White. Were you surprised on how aggressive Chris was? And was there any lap traffic woes that you felt like you were having here this evening?
No, I mean, Chris White's always fast in this league. So, you know, he got in front of me. I kind of pulled over. Didn't really want to push the issue there first 5 laps or so. So I'm just riding behind him, waiting to see if our tires equal out or if I'm better than him or what's going to happen. Lap traffic wasn't really an issue at all for me tonight. These guys are really respectful in this league, and they see you coming, they'll hold their line, or they'll even get out of the way for you. So I think lap traffic did a really good job tonight.
Dennis, I segue this into also wanting you to thank your sponsors in closing so we can get off the air here. I feel like you've done a lot like what Brian Barnes has done. Obviously, he hasn't won any races, but he's been consistent in being up in the front for the points. You're doing the same thing, but obviously this win has got to be kind of a little lid lifter, if you will, to kind of help you try to get a little cushion more on Cole Raz and Caden Anderson, who was not here tonight, mind you, looking to, I would not say race for the championship just yet, but put yourself in a good spot to be in P1 when the points reset to go for the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to race Cole and Caden and Sean and Jeff and Dan and all these guys who haven't got a win yet. I mean, Cole and Caden have, but Sean and Jeff and Dan haven't, which is crazy. We're 13 weeks into the season. I expect those guys to at least get 1 win. But, you know, points are nice. It's nice to be in the point lead. It is vacation season coming up here pretty quick, so I'm going to miss some races. But to know that I'm locked into the playoffs is huge. And we're fast every week. I feel like we can win or get a podium at least every single week. We put a lot of work in on these setups at Beaver State Racing. So, and sponsors, I'd like to thank Nicole Bryan Photography, everybody at the LSRTV, Northwest Racing Series, and then More Speed.
And by the way, the points have just updated. Dennis, you now unofficially have a 14-point lead over Cole Raz to go along with those 2 wins now tonight. County, Nashville, and Dover, 2 poles, 9 top 5s and 9 top 10s. Beaver State Racing, 44 of Dennis Moore winning here tonight. Samuel, these drivers are going to get a nice little break. We will as well. Next week, we're at Road America for the Northwest Cup cars. When we return, it's at COTA. And as we mentioned in closing, always fun working with you. The final 8-week stretch before the run to decide who's going to race for a championship in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, this is your break. This is your last opportunity to make sure that if you have anything you need to fine-tune in these upcoming weeks, if you feel like there's a racetrack that you do not feel strong at, use this break. If you've got time, practice, get yourself ready, because if you've been really snoozing on yourself on trying to make the playoffs, this is the final stretch to make it in.
And of course, we'll have it for you as always. Samuel Dyer and myself are off next Thursday night. Happy 4th of July to all of you. Of course, that will be the events. Next race will be on July 7th at COTA. And again, the Northwest Racing Series Cup cars will be in action next Monday night at Road America. And then, of course, we're back on July 7th at COTA, Road America, Pocono, New Hampshire, Indianapolis, Michigan, Richmond, Watkins Glen, before the run to the playoffs, beginning after Darlington, going to Auto Club. As always, follow us at Northwest Racing Series on Facebook, at LSRTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and at CRN Sports as well. Have a happy, safe 4th of July. Keep on praying for America. We love you all. from iRacing to LSRTV and CRN. For our producer, for Jeff Stabnow, Charles Wooten and Rocket Media, Live Sim Racing Productions. For, of course, Samuel Dyer, I'm Wesley Outland. Be good to one another. We'll see you in 2 weeks at COTA.